So right now we're going to be talking about two books that I read over the winter holidays, and that just have that perfect vibe for like the cold and, for the dark, the dank, the dreary, when you really want to relate to these characters. So first off, we have Nevertell by Catherine Orton. By the way, both of these books I got in two like separate sales, and these are like sleeper agents of books. Okay, like these are books I didn't plan to get. I had no real desire for them, but I was like, oh, but I've got two books and the third one is free. So in both cases, I got these books and I went, oh, okay, I'll read them at some point, and then I did because they had a winter vibe, and I was blown away in both cases. I really was. You're gonna have to forgive my voice. It is going today. I've drank so much and it's still just not enough. So Nevertell is it really threw me in the beginning because it's this book about like magic and like and spirits in like the Russian like environment, and like it threw me so much because at first I didn't know it was set in our world. I didn't know it was set in Siberia. So I was like waiting for the magic and stuff to come from like this girl who's been raised in a prison camp. And it was like, yeah, and she's in Siberia. I was like, Siberia? And they're like, yeah, okay. I was like, oh, all right. I guess it's set in like an overlay of our world, but like an alternate universe. Okay, cool. And I got further in, and it was like she was imprisoned there by Joseph Stalin. I was like, Stalin? And I like got jump shocked by my own history, and I was like, oh, okay. This is like a real world book mixed with fantasy. I don't know why Stalin's name jump scared me so much, but I was reading in bed, and it was like before I was about to go to sleep, and I was like, Stalin? It really got to me for some reason. So yeah, Nevertell is the story about a girl who was born in a prison camp, and unlike the other children, she wasn't sent away. So you have to question, is it because they know about the potential of her magic, which she is just discovering herself, but her grandfather was of a similar nature? Like, oh, that she could be the commandant's daughter herself. And she's heard the rumors, like, that people think she's Commandant Zima's daughter. But at the same time, she doesn't want to believe them because, like, she hates that he's sometimes kind to her and then, like, remembers himself and is cruel to her again. But she's like, well, I have been raised here and he really does like his gardens, and, I'm like the best tender of the gardens, and she is. Or is it because, like, she doesn't want to be, like, picked out and specialized? She wants to be treated like the rest of the prisoners because, she doesn't want to relate to someone who's so callous and cruel that he can shoot a prisoner in the head on sight just because they looked at him the wrong way, and then like be the one who's like, oh look, it's this, the commandant's special girl. So she's like in this terrible position of, I would rather be kicked and trodden down than admit to being his daughter, and she doesn't know if she is, and mum won't tell her. Because this is a case of like people who were arrested for a crime that isn't really a crime, because again, it was in Stalin's time. It was about speaking up and going, maybe this isn't good for people, and then they're like, oh, you're against the regime? Prison. Not just for you, prison for your kids. Okay, so her mom was arrested when she was like 17. Her uncle was arrested like when he was like 19, because they were all arrested as a family, and the only one who escaped the arrest was the grandmother, who was away at the time. And so the mum's like, not sure if grandma's alive, but she keeps telling her daughter, like, about her and where she lives, so in the one day hoping they might be free and that she'll still live at the same address in Moscow, in the hopes that they'll get there. Hi, Adora. Hey, princess. Anyway, so then we like cut a bit forward, and the plot happens when the mum secures a release for her daughter in the sense that they're going to do a prison break, and she's the only one who has the key to the greenhouse. So she's like, well, you need my daughter because she's going to get you the veggies you need to like survive on the way out. You'll be eating raw onions, but at least you'll be eating. And so they're like, oh, god damn it, yeah, okay, we'll take the brat. And like, Lena is so set that her mum's coming with us, right? Like, you're coming with us. And she's like, yeah, I'm gonna meet you on the outside. And you just know her mum has no plan to escape. She's the distraction. She's not the escape attempt. And so she's leaving her daughter in the hands of these like free prisoners, two of them who actually deserve to be there, and one who is actually quite nice and is probably arrested for the same reason as her grandfather or something along those lines. And so it's like this tale of like these people trying to get across the winter wilderness, and then her best friend like finds her and joins in because he's a boy about her age who got brought to the prison camp. He wasn't born there like her. He just looked older than he was. So like, yeah, he can dig the mines. The children yearn for the mines. And as they start this escape, it turns into this Russian fairy tale of sorts, you know? You've got this ice witch Svetlana who is after them with ghost wolves and like the children, like the ghosts of children and people that she is bound to her, who are forced to serve her. And one ghost always whispering the words "Nevertell," like the title. And then you've also got yeah, and then you've also got like Baba Yaga and her traveling house. You've got these like people who are living on the outside, still trying to survive under Stalin's regime, hoping that one day he'll die, because if he does, they don't have to live like this anymore, and fear that they or their families will be arrested if they say or do the wrong thing. So it's like magic mixed with history. And then you've got Lena realizing that she, like, her power is to grow things, that she's got this like warm magic underneath her, while they're also being hunted, like I said, by Svetlana. Like, this ice witch is determined to get them. She's determined to capture these two kids because she wants to know, like, she's searching for something and she's sure that they have the answer to it. So I will leave you in mystery now for the rest of this. Like, I'm not going to go into these books too much, because these books that I've picked, I'm doing a double feature today because like they have very linear plots. You know, if I give away too many details, that's it. You know, you've got the story. So I will leave you with like a little bit of detail on like the two main characters. So I've already told you a bit about Lena and like her magic, and that she is very much like a, like, she thought she was ready for escape, and she definitely doesn't want to be in this prison anymore, obviously. But at the same time, like, her escape plans were the imaginations of a child, you know? Mum will be there with me. She wouldn't have left me. And now she's realizing, no, mum was the distraction. Like, she's given up everything that she has to free me, you know? And like, it's that heartbreak of like, oh, you can't, you know, you can't have this fairy tale ending. You can't have your cake and eat it too. I hate that saying. I hate that saying. I know that's how the Unabomber got caught. You can, you know, you can't eat your cake and have it too. Yeah, it's like, look into that, okay? That's how the Unabomber got caught, because he was into the semantics of the phrase and how it doesn't make sense the first way around, but it does the second way around. But I'm sorry to agree with him on anything. He's a terrible person, but goddamn, he was right about the phrase. Oh, I went off on a tangent. Right, Bogdan. Bogdan is her best friend, Bogey for short, because he thinks it sounds cool. Like, you know, a bogey is an unknown thing on a radar. You know, you've got a bogey coming on your right, and she's like, it's snot, Bogey, it's snot. And he's like, shut up, it's the unknown thing, it's cool. It's like, this kid is like much more prepared for the real world than she is, because he's come from it. He was arrested during it. His parents were political dissenters. They were sent to a separate prison from him as their punishment, you know? So he's like, he's so loyal to Lena. He's so loyal to her in the sense, like, he's smarter than he looks too. He's good at deception. He is an excellent cartographer, because that's what his father was, like a cartographer. So he's like making all these maps. He's like the strategy. He's the support and the push that you need when you're just so tired and you don't want to go on. You like want to turn back because you're starting to doubt yourself, but turning back would mean certain death. Because even if they went back to the prison, we're like, yeah, sorry, we escaped. That's death. You're going to get shot. That's the punishment for trying to escape and succeeding. Like, so he's like, you gotta be real about it. Look, I know you want your mum, but we have to continue. You know, she is, you know, you can't throw away the sacrifice she's made to go back. And meanwhile, you got Lena here, who's like, like, she thought she was prepared for the world because she's like had these imaginings, but like, you know, she sees a horse and she's like, the hell is that? What is that? Like, it's big and it's majestic. What is it though? What is it? Is it gonna hurt us? What the hell is that? And she sees the city and she's like, oh, it's not built like a prison block. And look, the rooms have so much furniture. I don't know. She'd imagined rooms like to be as comfortable as the guards' rooms, but even then, the guards' rooms aren't comfortable. You know, because sometimes the prisoners would get invited there to play poker if the guards were bored, and her mum is like a class poker player, so Lena was there a lot. And she's like, she thought that was the pinnacle of comfort, but she's like, this is an actual bed. Well, it's so soft. Well, this is an actual bed. I've been sleeping on the floor my entire life. What the hell is this? There's been 10 people in a room. Are you telling me there's only 2 people in this room? One? There's one person who lives in this entire room? And it's like, when you're learning so much at such a rapid rate and it's nothing like you conceived it to be, it's like, how much can your brain take before you also break, you know? Like, yeah, it's good things that you're learning, but it's also like too much all at once. And so like this magical little story with it's like wonder, it's so entrenched in reality. You know, if you've been traumatized, you want peace. That's like the thing of it. And you can like help each other, you can like help other people, but you shouldn't have to. And it's like part of this vicious circle of the cruelty of other people, and especially the cruelty of spirits in mythology. Like, because like I said, these like witches, it's like she knows Baba Yaga from the stories, but like Baba Yaga can hinder you as much as help you, and you have to play very much on that like razor's edge of like, where am I walking? Am I doing good, or is she gonna kill me? Kind of vibe. I do hope there's a sequel to this because it left it with a very open ending. Some spirit animals like coming into it, and like how much the spirit world can bleed into ours, but there's still 2 separate things, and there's an in-between universe. So I do hope they go into more of that. Now, my second book, Raven Winter by Susanna Bailey, totally different vibe. We are not here for the magic. This is truly reality. If I had to compare this like book, Susanna Bailey, as well, to another author, my first pick would be Jacqueline Wilson. Maybe like you know, it's not the same writing style, definitely not, but it's like that realism of a children's story that's like been raised in real life. So it's like you can have lived through this yourself. This is something that children from poorer backgrounds and abusive backgrounds could have survived and could know the feeling of. And it also lets other children who have grown up in a nicer background into this environment of, you know, some children live like this. You don't, but some children do, and you need to know about this world. There are people out there who do have the intent to harm you and who are cruel. And it's about a little girl called Billy, and she's like so out of place where she is. She grew up in a little cottage like that's on the edge of the woods in this like little wilderness, you know, away from this like big city crap. And it's like very much like they describe the apartment blocks in this book, and I'm like, yeah, that is what it's like growing up in the UK now. Like that is what it's like growing up. Like it's just like pavements that are like littered with just like the worst rubbish, cigarette butts, and like the street lamps that don't give out a friendly light, and they don't like they're not artsy. They're just made like nothing is artsy. It's just made for the purpose of being there and doing its job, being functionalist. Like this is one thing I hate about society. I get really mad about it, about like how we've lost our touch for architecture to cut costs in this minimalism just wasteland. Like it's weird, but you look like at a lamppost from like the 1800s, and it's like black, and it's got the curving light around it, and it's got maybe some Art Deco, Art Nouveau around it, and it's like a little bit of beauty for something that's otherwise ugly. Like it's providing a function, it's light, you know, it doesn't have to be pretty. But now it's just like a straight green lamppost, and it's ugly and it's bland, and it gives out a harsh light instead of a gentle light. And it's like, we've done this for everything in our society. You don't get those like nice posts around the trees that look pretty and had this like beautiful curvature to the metal, you know. You don't get these doorbells that had these beautiful designs, or the lighters. Like I've seen lighters like from like older times that like were made to look like compact for women and open, and they're beautiful. And like now it's just like here's a Zippo or a Bic, enjoy. And there's like nothing of beauty left, you know. We've gone so minimalist because, like, well, it's cheaper to make a doorbell that's just a white bit of plastic than something beautiful. I could go on about this for hours. Like, it's something that really bugs me. Is I think that as humans, it's our duty to make the world look as beautiful as we can make it. And if I could do my entire house out like that, I would. I can't afford to do that, all right? But I've got the best of what I can find, you know? I want this world of beauty back. I'm sick of going outside and seeing everything uniform and dark and dreary and looking the same. And this turned into a real tangent. I made myself upset. I got angry at the state of the world and I made myself upset. Anyway, the point is that Billy's come from this like nice cottage environment to like this sort of like towny city environment where it's like everything is the same. Like these apartment blocks feel like prisons because they're just meant to house as many people as possible. And the reason she's living like this now is because her mum is on a single income, whereas before, like, they had two people. Her dad went to prison for a very, like, it's such a harmless crime. He was stealing money from his employer to feed his family, and that is currently the state of the economics that we're living in. So, like, it already hurts. It already digs deep at the start of the story that you're like, this is what people have to do, and they are being punished for feeding their children. So it's like, you already know her dad's a very, like, he's a good guy and he regrets what he does, but like, he's also so far away that Billy's like, but does he regret it because he's in a prison now? How do I know that that's not hardened him? What if he's changed, you know? Does he miss the sight of the sun? Does he miss the walks in the wood? Does he miss the birds he used to point out to me? Like, does he miss me? And she's very much spiraling as a child does, and spiral becomes worse because, like, not only has she been uprooted from her old life, but now her mum is the one person that should protect her, that should defend her, should be there for her. And instead, she's shutting down. She has let a man into her life who hates Billy, hates her, is making them both as small as possible. It's implied that he's hitting her mum, or has at least hit her mum once, and he's going through that thing of, no, I'm sorry, you know, I'll never do it again, you know, you made me do it, you made me hit you. And so, like, she's begging her mum to kick this guy out, begging her mum to let their life be theirs again because he's shutting them away. He's, like, taking all the things they love and put them in the garage, like the shared garage downstairs, so that they don't have to look at pieces of their old life and be reminded of who they were. And he's, like, boxing them up and compartmentalizing them until they're just things that he can play with, that he can beat around, that he can yell at, that he can control, because he is very much an emotional abuser on the path to becoming a physical abuser, right? And the story really starts when Billy, she's ready to run away. She's had enough. She's gonna run away. Like, this guy's made sure she can't contact her dad anymore, so they're not replying to, like, his letters from prison, and now the letters have stopped coming. So she's like, I'm pretty sure dad thinks I've given up on him, but it's not that at all. Like, he's banned the house phone, so they're not allowed to, like, call the prison. And Mum's like, yeah, no, it's for the best. You know what? He's right. Your dad is a prisoner. We should be giving up on him. Because again, she's being abused. She's being brainwashed, and she's like a woman again who should be defending her daughter, but is instead stuck in this survival mode of it's too late. She's in this abuse cycle. She can't get out of it on her own, and you feel the betrayal that Billy feels. You feel how much she feels betrayed. Like, she's sad for her mom, but she's also angry that her mom has, like, let herself be bullied and victimized into being this small when she should have been protecting her daughter, you know? And then we get to this point where she's ready to run away at the start of the book, and instead she finds an injured raven, and she's like, okay, well, I can leave as soon as I've helped this raven heal. That's it. And it becomes this really beautiful and poignant story about her being, like, taking care of this raven and realizing that she needs to think, like, her life through. Like, would she really be able to get to the prison without being kidnapped, or, like, dying in the woods, or dying in the cold on the street, you know, starving, or, you know, being seen by the police and reported and being brought home, which would be worse because then you're going to get more abuse because you tried to run away. And like she's starting to really think through the possibilities all while she's looking after this bird, and it makes her see life for what it really is. And she still like has a big adventure. She still has to think about who she is, and she makes friends with the strangest of little girls who is also ostracized, and she's ostracized because it's a grandma that's raising her and because like her mum doesn't want her. And she's like, God damn, that's terrible. At least my mum wants me, you know. She's not doing a great job, but she wants me. My dad, as far as I'm aware, wants me, but he's in prison, so he can't do anything. And so these two children become like odd little friends. And like I said, it's not like some grand adventure of I've got to cross the world and find my dad like you think it's going to be at the beginning. It's this story about children who have been hurt and made to feel like they're nothing, finding each other, finding this bird, and like finding love in life, even though it's so difficult. So yeah, I wanted to bring that one up. I wanted to bring Nevertell up. Like I say, if you're a fan of Jacqueline Wilson vibes, try Susanna Bailey's Raven Winter. It's sad. It made me cry. You know, it's like, again, it's a children's book, but it made me cry. I cry at everything. It's not hard. I cry at Kiki's delivery service. I cry at Good Animations. I cry at most of the books on these shelves. So maybe I'm not the best one for what's poignant, because I'm a big crier. I'm a big little baby. These are great books for winter, and so I thought I'd bring them up. But yeah, tell me if there's any other videos you want me to do. Tell me if there's any other books you want me to look into. I have another series behind me, Pax, I really want to talk about, so you'll probably hear me talk about that soon, and Wranglestone. Oh, I've got so much to say about both of those series. Yeah, Pax made me cry. My friend, represented by the ginger cat on the front cover of these videos, she got me those, and she made me cry. What a horrible, horrible person. This is our game. We find each other books and we're like, hey, this has a happy ending. If you can get that far, we're sickos. It's like a twisted little game. She's evil. She's better at it than me. She keeps finding more books. Like, she's better at making me cry. But occasionally, we'll have like a race on, or like something, and we'll try and read at the same time, and I'll be like, good luck surviving page 109. And she'll be like, bitch, I got there before you, 120. And I'll be like, I will read all night to beat you. I will read all night to beat you, and then you will have to suffer and know that I know more than you. It's a twisted little game. Highly recommend. 10 out of 10. Ruin your friends' lives. Ruin your friendships. End alone, and then you'll really have something to cry about. That's the real aim here. Alright, well, I will see you guys later, and I hope you have a good day. Alright, bye!